In the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
You're tuned in to Rebooting Liberty.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We are today facing a full-fledged constitutional crisis. The answer is not a monarch from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
You're tuned in to Rebooting Liberty.
Welcome, Patriots, from the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, where we're still hitting the triple digits halfway into October. Thank you for tuning in today to another broadcast of Rebooting Liberty Now. My name is Jared Day, Executive Director of Rebooting Liberty. We are a group of volunteer citizen journalists, grassroots activists, and social media superstars. Today's broadcast is first of a three-part series. We have a very special guest who's doing some work that our elected officials should really be doing, and he's taken upon himself. He's dedicated to this cause. His name is Ricky Barnes, and we'll introduce him in just a moment. He's a founder and operator of EvincibleVets, a nonprofit dedicated to helping veterans get the care they need and deserve in the VA healthcare system. He's stuck in the system fighting for himself, and he has some compelling evidence that exposes, well, the only word really is corruption and lack of action on behalf of VA administration. Ricky, are you on with me?
Yes, Jerry. I'm here.
Good to talk to you again. So
yes, good to talk to you, and I would like to thank you for inviting me to your show, and thank you for inviting me to Rebooting Liberty. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be on your show today, Jerry. Oh,
glad to have you, and the work you're doing is very important. It's vital because of what's going on, and it's a noble cause. And I was looking at the name Invincible, because I wasn't sure. I knew what it meant, but I wasn't sure precisely what it meant. I like that name. It comes from the Latin word conquer, overcome, carry one's point, and our English language to make evident or to show clearly, and that seems to be exactly what you're doing since I've known you, and we met a few weeks ago down at the VA.
Correct, and to put a little more emphasis on that, EvincibleVets, it also stands for Invincible for every veteran injured needs compassion, including benefits, liberty, and equality. And I believe all of those things apply to every veteran, once they are injected into the VA system, that no veteran should go without anything, any needs from the VA system. They should have every opportunity to reap those benefits that are offered at the VA. And so that's what the Invincible Vet name really stands for. It goes into that realm of making sure that no veteran is left behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is something
And also what our...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jared. Yeah, and also what our company, or I should say the nonprofit organization, which falls under Square and Compass as well, what we're here to do is to try to ensure and to help and lead veterans to receiving the proper Medicare, receiving the proper compensation, and also encouraging veterans and counseling veterans of how to go about, go through the VA system, and not just the VA hospital, but also the VA regional office. A lot of veterans don't have that knowledge. Of course, in order to become a veteran, you have to first be military personnel. So these military personnel does not have that extensive knowledge once they come out of the military. So that is what we're there to do is to provide them with that additional information that is needed.
Yeah,
and we've also created a GoFundMe account, which we're going to go after the large corporations for them to provide funds for this for the project that we have going on. And of course, this will provide transportation to and from the VA facility to any legislature office that these veterans would like to go to, back and forth from the VA hospital to the regional office if they can't find those locations. So we're providing them with everything that they need from A to Z and whatever. And of course, we just started this July 4th, 2015, which is Independence Day.
Nice.
Well, and that's the thing that we need is we need to show that we do have independence, but we want a strong system set up for the veterans, and we need that, and we just don't have that right now.
And it's deserved. It's deserved.
Exactly. And it's all the way recognized from President Obama all the way down to Bob McDonnell. All of these individuals know that we have a system that is not catering to our veterans correctly, and our veterans should be put in a position that every veteran should be celebrated, not tolerated.
Absolutely.
And that's what our system is doing. It's tolerating our veterans, and we should not be tolerated. We should be celebrated for what we've done for this country.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. It's backwards, and we don't have to get into all the politics of it. But the current administration just seems to hold up other groups put them up on a pedestal, and he just ignores veterans. He breaks down the military. He socially engineers it. He gets rid of the top generals. I don't know. It's just wrong, and I'm hoping that when we have a new president and possibly some better people in Congress, that progress will be made on legislation to fix. And we have 3 episodes before the protest, which we'll get into the protest in a little bit. So it's going to be hard to fit everything in. There's so many facets to this. So you want to just say a little bit about yourself first, and then we can talk about the protest maybe?
Yeah, what I am is I'm a 15-year vet. I was in the military for 15 years. I was involuntarily separated. And once I was involuntarily separated, I reached out to a certain senator of Arizona. His name is McCain. I reached out to him trying to get the opportunity to meet him and to get him to oversee my package deal. And that's what really got me into the process of, dealing with the VA system, because I was not allowed to stay in the military, so I became a veteran. So once I became a veteran, I was injected into the VA system with no additional medical care. My only medical care was the VA system. Once I went to the VA system, that's when I started noticing the lack of care. And this was right around 1999 and mainly 2000. And I've had 3 surgeries at the VA, 3 knee surgeries, and that's when I noticed that the VA healthcare system was not the system that it was designed to take care of the veterans. So I had 3 botched surgeries at the VA system, and all 3 of those surgeries was pushed under the rug. So that's what got me so involved with trying to ensure that no veteran goes without proper care. Mm-hmm. And since that time frame, it elevated more in 2005, 2006, on all the way up into 2013. So I've been in this VA system for 15 years, trying to allocate and justify why veterans should receive the best care in the world versus, it's almost like we're taking our veterans and putting them into a third world country and say, go ahead and get the best medical care you can. And we should not be put in that position. Most of our veterans are, living in poverty. They can't afford additional medical care. So they have no other option but the VA system, the VA medical care. And it should be to a point where we should take care of them to the fullest. And that's what I've been trying to do, is try to be a institution to justify all of these things to those leaders that we have, to our state leaders, to our, nation leaders. And it seems like no one is paying attention to what is actually going on within the VA system to the full extent.
Yeah. I
And
noticed
so that's a
Montel.
little.
Sorry, Ricky. I noticed Montel responded to you the other day on Twitter to one of your tweets.
Right.
He seems to he stood by Tamarisi and helped got him home, and he's always there for veterans. I mean, I don't always agree with him politically, but that doesn't matter because this issue transcends any type of politics. It's a human. It's who we are as a country. If we're going to have people like you volunteer to serve the country, go to war, not go to war, whatever it is, spend years in the service going around the world, and you come back, and then the federal government decides that you're a burden, and they're going to just like you said, label and gauge how much care you're going to get and put you on a list, and just it's completely un-American, don't you think? I mean, what could be worse?
Yeah, of course, it's highly un-American. Like I back in '91 during that time frame, I volunteered for the first Desert Storm, but I couldn't go because of Manning, so I never had that opportunity to go to any war in Iraq or anywhere. And that's why I hold highly those veterans who have had that opportunity to go over there and serve their country, and a few of them haven't even came back. They gave the greatest thing to this country, and that's their life. And so for those who have came back injured, it's a disgrace to them that they come back to America and they receiving less care here than probably when they was over there in Iraq.
Oh yeah,
it was probably getting better medical care. Yeah, so they cannot. We cannot afford as a great nation. We are a great nation. We cannot afford as a great nation to allow our young kids, these young kids of 18, 19, 20, joining the military, thinking they're going to have a great life during the military and after the military, and that is not necessarily true.
No.
Matter of fact, we're on the back end of that, trying to, justify why we're having so many veterans injected into the VA system. And just like Bob McDonald kind of basically stated that during the wartime, they really don't expect, the system didn't expect this many veterans to come back from war. Not justifying that they was hoping veterans die at war. The system is not prepared for every veteran to come back. And see, that's one of the major problems. The VA system is not prepared and ready to accept that many veterans coming back from war.
Right, they get swamped, and it's not an excuse. It's happening, and the fact is, it's been getting worse. You said even since 2005, and even the last 4 years. And I read a few reports after we talked earlier today, and that said Phoenix has the longest waiting list, the longest wait times, and it's not getting better. So who knows if it's getting worse? There's nothing being done about it. You told me all of these veterans coming back that need care, and the system can't handle it. They should be able to seek care in the private sector and not be denied by the Mayo Clinic or wherever else they take their VA card, whatever card it may be in whichever state they're in. There should be laws. These are veterans. Yeah. Illegal aliens can come over the border and have babies, go back, come back, have another baby, go back, all on the dime of the taxpayers.
And that's absolutely correct. And that's one of the things is we as a great nation, we have to work on all of those things that we have issues with in America, and not at one point in time that, like I said, with our veterans, that I feel any veteran, they should have the best care possible. And like we have that option where we can use quote unquote the choice card that recently was approved, and that system is not working to the fullest. It has so many errors within that system. So a lot of veterans who need this outside care from outside of the VA facility, they can't get that care due to the delays within the system. And of course, no one doesn't know about these delays because they're not physically in the VA system like I am, doing the footwork and the groundwork to find out exactly what's going on, talking to employees, talking to veterans, to